record. I think I'm recording right now.
Oh, you are recording. Okay.
You can record.
Okay.
You can record too. You can record in Zoom.
Yeah, I'll try that. I think somebody tells me you're like my machine. I feel like I'm taxing. It's not that powerful, but let me.
Well, I can do it. I can do it. I could also do it. I could also do a jing.
This is better, I think. I think this is better because, you could do a jing and just kind of say, this is what we're seeing. You know, first of all, I would almost break it up into three different things. Like I would say, here's what's happening. Like, here's what's happening on the home page. Here's what's happening with pixelated in, Linden and Living Alley.
Yeah.
And I'd break them up by kind of.
So do a couple of different recordings. Okay. So let's call this, well, since we're recording right now, let's go back. I'm going to close that out. And I'm going to say, okay, so this recording right now is we're talking about scrolling. Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to go back to the home page for the sake of the recording. And so what I'm seeing here is that it's really jittery. It's not a smooth scroll. Jittery, jittery, jittery. The other key thing that's missing is those dots along the right side.
Right, for the navigation. They kind of like, they point to the anchors.
Yes.
You jump sections.
Yes, that you had on that first prototype that you put up that was that Squarespace prototype or whatever.
Yeah.
So those need to come back. Okay. The other key thing, and I know that no one's gone back in to fix this yet because you're waiting for the text. This footer is wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I know. You've said it about 20 times.
I know.
Yeah, I'll get that fixed.
Okay, fine. So back to the top. Okay. So then also I'm going to give you a new file for this Build Inc logo. I'm going to change it. It's just that the last three letters are a different color now. So it'll be exactly the same, just different.
Yeah.
I'll put that into Bug Herd. All right. So let's continue with the scrolling. Okay. So if I go to work, the work page itself seems fine. It's a little jittery, but it's overall fine. I'm going to go into one of these projects. These images need to be optimized because they're not loading quick enough. This should be here like now, like right now. Because otherwise it's like, I don't get what I'm seeing here. Because the thing with this thing, and when I noticed this particularly the other day when I was going over it with the copywriter, the whole idea behind this narrative is it's a visual narrative. And so if the visuals aren't there, you feel like something's really missing. Because like there's no text, right? There's no text that says 650 Indiana is a building project, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So in order for that to work, the visuals need to be really crisp. And so this scrolling seems to be working. I mean, I like the way this operates and that you get this big picture. I really like that. And then you scroll up. This works perfectly. And you scroll down and you get the text, and then you can go back to the top. The other thing that's missing from all these project pages is it should have a thing down here, and it's in the PSD file that either says back to work, go, back to the main work homepage, or I want to put a thing in here that says next project.
Okay.
So that you don't have to click all the way back to work to get to the next project. Or even get back to this page, because so I will put that in the PSD. The back to work is already in it, but I think what we should do is add a next project arrow. So if somebody wants, they can just click through each project like right from there, right? Okay.
Do you want to design that?
Yeah, I'll put it in a PSD and I'll give it to you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
It just will be a simple thing, like simple.
Yeah, just an arrow, an arrow and text, I guess, or whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah. So it's like a gray thing on either side that says. So it'd be some sort of like when you're in the project, like here I'm in parcel RNS. Let me just talk this through with you. See how long that's taking to load?
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem. Okay.
And it's coming up.
What's that?
And it's coming up from the bottom.
Yeah.
It's a right.
Well, this is correct. This is coming up from the bottom. This is how this is supposed to behave, this scroll.
Right. But I didn't see the image. I saw it coming up from the bottom prior to this.
Yeah, it's very random the way that it behaves. Sometimes it comes up from the bottom, sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes you have to start scrolling, and then when you scroll back up, it shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very unpredictable. But the optimal thing would be that It's right there when you click into the screen.
Right.
So now I want to ask you a question. So we're at the bottom of the page here, right?
Yeah.
Would it be possible for me to put like a little circle and an arrow thing here on the right and on the left, so that that would act as navigation? And when you hovered over it, it would say like next project or previous project?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
would
I
be
mean,
nice, right?
yeah, and obviously the one in the upper left-hand corner will be the first
Yeah.
project, so it's no previous, or do you want that to go back? Do you want it just to be a never-ending loop that you can always keep going?
I think a never-ending loop, because,
Okay.
and it would start from wherever you are, right? So if they start on India Basin, I'm going to give you a new picture for this too. This is all pixelated for some reason. If they start on India Basin, you know, the next project would be the one that's after India Basin in the chronology, right?
Right.
So in the sequence rather. So you might need to add some more white space to the bottom here, or I'll figure that out in the PSD and make it really clear. Okay, maybe what it'll do is it'll go back to the tan, so that it's really clear. That's just like clear navigation space, and the text is always in the white, and so you don't get confused. Like the text area is over now. You're not missing something.
Right.
Because the text is so minimal. Yeah, I think with that little addition, the navigation will be much more user friendly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that.
Okay, so that's work. All right. Other than that, I think it's good. And as far as I know, all these projects, there's maybe 1 or 2 images max I need to change on them, but everything else is pretty solid and good. The text is being finessed. I'm changing it, but again, it's not changing the size of it or the amount of it or any of that. So it should be pretty straightforward. It's just
that'll be good.
Straight up, finessing and just getting everything really, like see here on attitude, pragmatically optimistic attitude, there's an extra space, but just a bunch of little things like that, whatever. So, and also this copywriter went through and one of the building people was freaking about how the grammar was all screwy, and he came back with like barely any changes, which actually made me feel good, because she made me feel like I was like a horrific writer. But
right,
that's
what they did. That's I think that's their goal.
I know. She's like, it's a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Right.
I'm like, geez, lady. Okay, well. Yeah, but it was okay. It was okay. Well, and I know I talk and run on sentences. I talk like that anyway. So I said, look, I'm not like the grammar person, so I'm the idea person. So whatever, you fix it. Okay, so work next. Okay, so places. Yeah, so this here, this one came up pretty quick, but I think that's because we already loaded it, because I popped on this before. And see how jittery it is? It's really jittery. Yeah. And also,
yeah, keep going.
Oh, I'm going to change the size of this text because it just looks too clunky. There's another place on the site where they did the text and it looks really nice. And I'm going to say, make it like that, because it looks really elegant and nice. But see how it does that? It does that like palsy thing,
Yeah.
It's like, wow, what's happening? Okay. So in the same thing here, like Mint Plaza, it's just not coming up. We already went over all this. Okay, so but it wasn't recording, so that's why I'm saying it again.
Okay, yeah. Go through it again.
So this is on places, and so what's the key issue is that what was happening initially was that these big images, the master images, they're not coming up quick enough. And again, to reiterate, the whole narrative behind the site is that it's a visual narrative more than a text narrative. And so if the images don't load up immediately, it's problematic. You feel like something's really wrong, like you're really missing something. So Linden Living Alley, and also this picture, it's not scaling properly. Do you see that? Like
it's like Linden cut off. Is it right?
It's cut off. It should be dynamic, like so you see the whole thing, and like you have it elsewhere on the site. So you see the whole image, and then it scales accordingly. So that, and I'm going to give you a new image for this, by the way, because you see how pixely and yucky it looks. It's that won't work for these guys. So I have to go reshoot that or something. So I'll give you all of this at once. So and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it tomorrow because I'm going to try to get
out of time, right? This whole thing needs to be done.
Yeah, well.
Friday.
well, not this Friday, but next Friday. What I wanted final copy from the copywriter by this Friday because we met with him on Monday. But then he already sent a draft through yesterday, which is great. And it's like I said, like hardly any. I mean, it's pretty minimal. I was like, okay, this is a breeze, and so I'm just going to go ahead and give you all those changes because I think that the partners will probably just approve it. They're so busy, they don't even have time to look at it, quite frankly. And so I'm going to give it all to you with these other notes about all this and let you guys go in there and do your thing. Okay. And it should be with that sweep. To me, that would be the pretty much close of our scope. If we have to go back in again and update stuff, we'll start the clock.
Okay.
Okay, and I can charge them for that. But all these things up into this last push, these are things I think that would be finessed and are allowable to be finessed. And you tell me if you think differently, allowable to be finessed in this scope, right? So if you need to, you just let me know, okay? But it's all pretty manageable. A lot of this is just like behavior stuff too, So again, like I'm going to change this text styling to something that you've done elsewhere in the site that looks really elegant. I'll tell you exactly what that is. Because I wasn't able to tell by going in through Chrome, David, and doing the show element inspector or what have you. I couldn't tell what the size was because of the way that the style sheets are made.
Yes, it can be confusing.
Yeah, so it wasn't clear to me like what I couldn't find a consistent baseline, so I didn't want to confuse the issue even more. Okay, so yeah, and the other thing on this here is that the footer is not being at the bottom. It's scrolling up and you see this tan color behind, so that obviously shouldn't happen. Okay, so that's places. Values. See, that one came up a little quicker, which was nicer. And I noticed that the other day too. This one came up quicker. Just noticed how long this guy's feet are. That's amazing. He's got like huge feet.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But anyway, so check and see if this picture is scaling. It looks like it's a little cropped.
Probably like a flat angle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, feet look so big.
Yeah. So again, the jittery thing. Like, see this text right here on the screen, the way I have this, to me, visually, this combination looks nice. It's like this looks good. And then this smaller stuff, it's not clunky. It's not fighting with it. In here, you can see like this is a perfect example of like where the spacing's all wonky. Like you've got this dash like that, and then there's doubles here. And this isn't the way it was in the PSD or in the Word file, and it's fine. I don't care. We'll just sweep through it and catch everything.
And what about things like before Civic? I don't see a space.
Exactly. That's missing from and it's just picking it up from the PSD, and some stuff didn't catch when they were doing it. And so there's a lot of little things like that, which we can just totally get. So I'm going to sweep through on Mike Bugher, and I'll just put all that in there, and they can just, because I've seen it all, I've looked at it, and especially because Build Inc., when they were looking at it, they caught some of them, but I said, don't correct the text on the site, correct the text on the Word document, the content master, because that's like our ground zero, right? But like even like in this text here, like I see like local workers, second to the last, third to the last, not a space between so this little things like that, I'll catch it. So then you get the long view, and this. So that was a little funky what happened right there. Do you see that? So the long view, I would say the scrolling, it just needs to be really smooth. So like I'm scrolling in the long view title, what it does is it passes Civic Entrepreneur. I can still see Civic Entrepreneur. And then it kind of goes, oh wait, no, it's long view, right? So it should just smoothly roll up and completely replace it. Like I don't even see it, right? Like it's completely.
Okay, so long view is right. So let's see where long view is replacing Civic.
So it rolls up and it's covering, at this point, the white bar of long view is covering Civic Entrepreneur until it stops right there, and you don't see Civic Entrepreneur anymore, and the long view doesn't move. It doesn't go up and then snap back and like that.
Right.
Okay. And also what's happening now too is this. See, there's something funny that happens, and this happens a lot on. I think this is it. This is the place where it had the scrolling on. Oh, it's on people too. It's really weird. The scrolling, it's all wonked out, and I think they must have just stopped at a certain juncture and waited or something. So like the picture, it's not this big picture should be still scrolling, but now it's stopped. And the background's coming, but it almost looks like the picture's going down. See that? So you have this part here, this should not be here, in this little white space and stuff. So the baby's going away where he should still be there.
I see, right.
This is coming down. And so you'd still see the baby. And then at this point, you're still scrolling. This is fine. The long view stays in this text, which I got this text now. So then creative collaboration, let's see how that comes up. So that does this really weird jerky thing like that, right? So again, smooth, right? And then, and just doing it again, where the picture, instead of it sticking,
up at the top.
Yeah, it's scrolling down instead of sticking, and this part is scrolling up. So I think it's just that. Yeah, this picture should not move at this juncture.
Right.
What should happen is that as you scroll down, this content starts to come up. Just like what's on Places, same kind of attitude. And then placemaking, we're going to take this whole placemaking out.
Okay.
They don't want to have placemaking anymore because it's too much like Places.
Right.
So I'll make the note about that. It'll just come out. So that's the thing with Places. Otherwise, and there's this text, I got all this text from them and stuff, so it's all good. So we can just plug it all in. And once that scrolling thing is figured out, it'll be humming. It should be fine.
Okay, good.
All right, so then people, let's move to people. I got some new text for this. This picture is doing the same thing. It's scrolling down. And it's also, oh yeah, the scrolling on this page is really weird. Okay, so then it's fine. I know you guys can fix it, but I'm just going to say, okay, so what happens is, like right now, what should be happening is I'm scrolling down right now, and what's happening actually is nothing.
Right.
So nothing happens. It kind of freezes. I mean, it literally is not moving, and I'm scrolling with my mouse. So this happened to me yesterday or Monday when I was with the copywriter. I was like, oh, we're testing something on here and it's not working right. So what happens is I have to go to the manual scroll bar and I have to push the image, and the image is pushing down, which it shouldn't be. It's supposed to be moving up and covering this text, right?
Right.
Up.
Is principle supposed to be where? Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. Let's scroll all the way up. So with the top page.
All right. So here's the top, right? Now, and also with these pictures, David, they're cropping. The pictures are getting cropped a lot, really cropped.
Right.
Like I'm missing a whole bottom portion of the picture. I want to see a lot more of the picture. Like it's that dynamic scrolling thing. Like it really, I need to see the visual, right? So, So what should be happening right now? So I get here and maybe I see more of this, or if I have a bigger screen, I certainly see all of the picture, right? And so on my screen at the office, my large screen, I don't. It dynamically scales to fill the screen, but it's still totally cropped.
Right. Well, I guess what it's doing is it's setting the width based on the image to 100% of the width, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be kind of like a ratio of the screen width to the height of the picture, I would think.
Which I understand, but what's happening is that they are not, well, this is hard to show because it's behaving improperly, but what should be happening when I'm scrolling down right now, what should be happening is this picture should be moving up. It should be moving up and covering this gray in text, right? So as I'm scrolling, I will see the whole picture. So the height will just keep going until you've given me the whole picture. They kind of arbitrarily decided on a max height.
Yeah.
Or not arbitrarily, they probably were going by the PSD and thinking, because it's always weird transposing it from PSD to the web, right? Especially with this kind of how, the X, Y, and which one sticks and all that kind of stuff. So what's happening is that I'm feeling that a lot of the picture is missing. I'm not seeing the picture. So so what I should be experiencing right now is that the, hold on, let me get the toggle. So that when I get here and I'm scrolling, this picture would scroll, not scroll down like this, but scroll up and cover this gray in this text. So I'm mousing right now, it's scrolling, it's scrolling, it's scrolling. And so like there's a bug here because when I scroll, it stops. So I have to toggle the side so I can get the sidebar. And so it'd still be scrolling up, 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 up. And on the heels of it would be coming this stuff, principal.
Right.
And so this is right. And it stops right there. Okay.
Right.
Now,
yes.
Now, here's one thing I just want to show you. You see here on, and this is a little thing, but it's not. So you see here on principles where you have the gray bar and you have like this amount of space right here.
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay. So what's happening is that as I continue to scroll, principles keeps moving up. That's wrong. That should not happen. I don't want principles.
Okay. Then you want associates to overlay the principles.
I do not want them to overlay the principles.
Okay. So tell me what you want. What you want.
What do I want?
You're being recorded, so.
No, I know. Just trying to figure. Well, I guess it's okay, actually. I just don't like the way the principles go away. But I guess it's okay. I mean, it's not so bad. I guess it's just principals and associates. All right. Well, I think it's okay. It's okay. I think if the top thing was working better, it would be fine. So let's go into clicking on this. Okay. So this box itself, and I know this is a small thing, this is too big. Right. It's
so don't use 100%. Use,
Yeah, try to go by the scale of the PSD file that I gave you. So the way that this is working and is fine. This is funky with Michael Yarny. His is going to be tricky because his is so long.
Right.
And
do we put like some sort of internal scroll?
Yeah.
On the page.
Yeah.
So that you can go lower.
Yeah, for Michael, because he's the one who is always got a lot of stuff.
Right.
So he's the only one who will be like that. So I think we will need to because it's not working correctly. And it'd be nice to see that little scroll. Like maybe I can design it in the thing, even if it's just a little minimal thing here,
Yeah.
Or some sort of scroll down thing, something that looks kind of elegant.
Yeah.
So it just, again, it's going to be going back to kind of looking at those PSDs and just finessing things so that I have to double check I think they did clean up some of this, like these names and the titles were a little wonky and too large or something, but they look like they've been cleaned up. So this is good because this LinkedIn should come off, I think, because Lou doesn't want his LinkedIn on there. So, but I'll make all these little comments. So principles is fine. And then, see, it's just like really, see how it does this? It's like I can't get it to stop where I want it to stop. It's not, it's not behaving itself.
Okay.
It's like run amok. So Patrick, and they did shorten this, so that's nice. So maybe I'm going to add just another line of text for each of these. I just have to look at these and see. Maybe we just, I don't know. I was just thinking maybe there's all this extra space at the bottom. It looks a little funny. Maybe if the thing could just kind of center in the screen, right, it would be cleaner, right? So it's just kind of chopped about an inch below the bottom of the text, and then that thing just centers itself. Because for all the associates, it's the exact same amount of content. So that would work. So other than that, I think that'd be fine. And I have another associate to add. So I'll give you the PSD file for that, but that would be something like ideally I would add through the back end.
Okay.
Right? But I'll give it to you because it'll probably be quicker and easier for you guys to just put it in.
Yeah, definitely.
Once you're in there. So, all right. So that's people. And then capital, I have to give you a new logo for this because they changed it from building capital to build capital. So I'll give you that. There's just some text changes on this. Otherwise, this thing is working really well. Of course, the footer, which is not working. And then here's the one big change on this. This secondary nav, overview, strategy, team, and transactions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have one more comment about the nav on the main site too. I'll pop back to that after. This should not disappear when I scroll.
Okay, that stays. Okay.
Yeah, it sticks. And so maybe like this area, like, you know, there's a certain like area of a 3/4 or a half an, you know, 3/8 of an inch or something like that, however many pixels, that this thing kind of mysteriously scrolls under, right? So maybe there's like an invisible line there somehow, right? So I'll designate that in the PSD file, like, because I'm probably going to change this logo so it's just one line and it'll be living up here. It won't be doing this thing anymore, which is unfortunate because I like that. But I'll designate that. I'll say here's like the invisible cutoff, right?
Right.
And so that'll stay. And also the other thing that, and I don't know if we'll need it then with that, I was going to say, because we had the dots on the side of this page as well, but I don't think we need it if this stuff is just sticking. Because this capital audience is way more literal. They won't even really know what to do with those dots. And so have you know, they'll be like, what are those dots for? So just have this stick, and then they'll be like, good, you know, because then they can just pop onto transactions and get their thing. And there should be like a back to top thing hovering over here, which I'll add a note in. Okay, so that if they do pop to transactions, they don't have to scroll back up. Well, and we'll see how that intuitively works, because once this stuff sticks, you'll know what you're on. And also what I want to happen, I want this to happen on the other site too. The hover on this is good. The color's great.
Yeah.
The what's the term for when you clicked it and you're there? Like still, hover, and live or active state or whatever.
It's been you've clicked on it.
Yeah, you've clicked on it. I want it to be like red.
Okay.
So it sticks. So you can look at it and you go, oh, I'm on strategy.
What's that?
Yeah, so you click, so visually you look at the page. If you clicked on strategy, well, that nav is still there.
Right. And then it's red at the top. So it indicates this is the page you're on. This is
the section you're reading, right?
Yeah.
And so then if I go like same for this, like here I'd be on people. This people would be red.
Right.
Because then I'm like, okay, where am I in the site actually? You know?
Yeah.
I noticed that the other day as I was going through it, that it was like I needed to know for sure where I was. I got lost. I mean, I wasn't lost, but I thought a viewer could forget. Like especially in this obtuse stuff, like, am I on places? Am I on, what am I looking at here, you know?
So you want, for this menu also, you click on values for a second?
Yeah, so this is values. So right now, this values word would be red.
Okay.
So when you're landed, when you're there, it's red.
Right.
So when you go to capital, if I go back over to here to capital, if I go to About Us, this would stay white.
Yeah.
Okay. This would stay on this particular one because of the way this color is. The hover is white, and the live is, or their state is white.
Yeah.
And then when you click, and then this stuff is like that. And then when you click on strategy, this is white, and the strategy, and this nav would be here, and the strategy would be red.
And what are the other colors? Just show me the default colors. Not for that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, default colors are this gray. It's like a dark gray, and then mouse over is this moss color.
Yeah.
Mouse over on the top nav is white, which is great. And then this still state will stay, or this live state will stay white for this top stuff, because that works. That would be clear, self-evident. Now I know, okay, I'm on About Us.
And which red are we using here? Just show me which red we're using.
This red.
Okay.
Build ink red.
Okay.
Same red as the logo. So yeah, so then that'll be really clear, you know, because then you'll know, okay, I'm on About Us, and I'm looking at strategy. And if I haven't clicked any of these, they're just like this, which is fine. If you want to click overview, then it stays there and it lights up and then you get a sense too of the page, like, you know, how much is on the page. I mean, that's what those dots do. You know, they kind of orient you to understanding the scope
don't need
of
it.
the page.
Totally don't need it.
So, but anyway, so investors, this looks good. I have to confirm with Scott this December 2014 thing, if that's going to actually work. And I have to get the URL. I have to get the email address that these emails are going to for you.
Yeah.
Right. Same with contact us. Investors. I might add a title to this, because as you click here, it says contact us, investors. Anyway, I'll decide that if that looks funny. It's a different thing. But otherwise, this is, you know, it's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's not bad. That's,
no.
You know.
Yeah, no. I think I actually had a different picture for, oh, there it is. Yeah, contact us. That looks good. Investors, blue sky. And then the hills are alive. The sound of money. Right?
Right. That's what these guys do.
That's right. So so that's it.
Okay, I think that's good. First of all, I love this Zoom thing. I think this is awesome. Because like what I'm thinking is, we make a recording of this. I'll give this to one of my guys and I'll be like, chop this video up into tasks. You know, like create a task.
Yeah.
Turn a segment of this video into a walkthrough.
Right.
And associate it with the task. And then the coder will know exactly what to do.
Yeah, it's great.
And they hear it, I don't want to say the horse's mouth, but they hear it straight from, you know, the client's mouth, which is great.
Yeah, no, totally. And if I was be the recipient of this feedback, it would be so clear, because you can also hear the intonation in their voice. You can see them scrolling.
Right.
You can see what's happening.
What's not important. You know, it's like, and you get to see like the big picture.
Yeah.
In addition to exactly what the person needs to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, this is brilliant. This is great.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I'm going to stop the video right now. I'm going to stay on this here, but I'm going to stop the video.
Yeah.
Stop video. Now I just have to figure out, oh, look, there I am.
The wrong thing. You stopped your video.
Can you still see me?
I see a picture. Maybe it's your daughter.
That's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you.
With makeup on.
No, you're wearing like a black shirt?
Yeah.
I can't see that. Send me that picture. That doesn't look right. Stop. Hit the record button. It's still recording.